Hey everyone, welcome to the very first official Wild Wednesday. This is Wild Spice, aka Amanda, and welcome to the very first episode of my podcast. This is the first time I'm doing a podcast alone. Normally, you can hear me appear on the Anime Jam Session podcast right after a convention has occurred that we've all covered. So check that podcast out. But my podcast is going to be a little bit different. So, the main focus of my podcast is going to be cosplay as well as photography and convention news. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself to get started, since this is the first episode and you do this type of thing, introduce yourself. My name is Amanda. I have been cosplaying unofficially since 1998. My first costume was Misty from Pokemon. At the time, I didn't know it was cosplay, so that's why I say unofficially started in 1998. After that, I did Sailor Pluto from Sailor Moon, and I also got to cosplay as Pyoko from Digitarot. After that, I started going to conventions. My first convention was Big Apple Anime Fest in 2003. Sadly, that convention went defunct right after that year, so it didn't happen again, sadly. New York anime conventions come and go. Shed a tear. But since my first anime convention, I've been hooked and doing cosplay. I took a brief hiatus for a couple of years during like 2012 to 2015ish. I'm back on the cosplay scene now. I missed it a lot and I'm really happy to be back. So, just a little bit about how I want the format of the podcast to go. Again, this is a work in progress because this is the first episode and podcasts grow and improve over time and make changes to them. So, how I'd like the format to go is if I went to a convention, I'll do a con recap, which is just like my little con report. I'll also give my personal cosplay and convention updates, as well as any other fun convention news I hear, because there's so many conventions nowadays. You're always hearing something about them. And I'm also hoping to do some photography tips and tricks in the episodes as well. And on occasion, I'd love to have fellow cosplayers or photographers come on as guests and just talk about their own cosplay experiences or their own photography experiences as well. If you're interested in that, you can email me and we can talk. I'm going to leave the email and any links that I mention in this episode in the description of the video so you can check them out later after you listen in. So, let's get started. I actually have a con recap for this episode. So, last weekend, I had the privilege of attending Takii in its 23rd season. Takii stands for the Asian Karaoke Idol Invitational. It is a event that kind of stands out from an anime convention. It's not your typical anime convention. The focus is more on karaoke and musical guests and just things of that nature. There are video game tournaments, there's anime screenings, we also have some panels. It's a fun little friendly event that we have here in Philly. I'm based in Philadelphia, if you couldn't have figured that out. The event was held at the Rotunda, which is down at University of Pennsylvania. It's a nice little venue, but it was hot given that it's summertime and it was really hot. There was no air conditioning in the venue, so we had the fans going all weekend. Everyone was drinking water, everyone was staying hydrated, which is very important, especially if you're at a convention. So, for Taki, I was actually volunteering and staffing this time around, where usually I'll just show up and be a attendee of the event. My fellow cosplayer friend Dokudel couldn't be at the convention as it was her birthday party weekend, so I was helping cover the cosplay side of things for her, and I had fun. So thank you for letting me cover for you. I would happily do it again. So, Saturday of the event, it's mostly guest appearances and gaming tournaments and all those events like that. There was a really good panel on Pokemon, like things banned from Pokemon. It was actually very interesting. There's a lot of things you wouldn't guess were banned from Pokemon. Also, we got to meet the two voice actor guests we had for this event. This time around, it was Michelle Knotts and Carter Cathcart. They voice Jesse and James in the current seasons of Pokemon. They're both really nice people. It's great to have guests at a small event like this because you get more time with them and they get more time with you and get to actually know their fans and talk to them. And, there's more interaction versus where you're at a big convention and it's go, 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 go because you have a line of several hundred people that you have to get through for autographs and things like that. So they did a panel on voice acting, and I got to participate. I actually got to be a 7 or 8 year old girl in the panel. I was told I'm good at matching lip flaps, so maybe voice acting in my future? That would be nice. Actually, fun little fact, I did want to be a voice actress when I was younger, so I think that's kind of funny. But what anime person didn't want to be a voice actor? I think a lot of us still want to do that though. But they were a great crew. We would love to have them back. They're great. Like if you ever meet them at a con or you haven't yet, go talk to them. They're very nice people, very friendly. We also had React, who is a Japanese musician. I didn't get to see him perform because I left before his performance, but he's a really nice guy as well. We also had the taiko drumming troupe who's based out of West Philadelphia called Kyodaiko. They were a really great taiko drumming group. They let all of us play on the taiko drums afterwards. We actually did a little improv session where we jammed out on the drums. It was a lot of fun. I would love to see them again too. They were great. Like Philly has a lot of hidden gems that you can have at your events. So Kyodaiko, check them out. So that was Saturday of Taki. Sunday of Taki, we had the cosplay contest. Cosplay contest at Taki goes a little differently because people, I feel like in Philly with cosplay contests, people are limited with entering. Like people kind of avoid entering or they're just afraid to enter. So we had our contest. I gave feedback along with the other judges to the people who did participate because I feel like at some conventions you participate in the cosplay contest or the masquerade and they don't give you any feedback. You just find out either you won or you lost or you didn't place and you don't know what you could have done to up your A game in the competition or like what you did really good on. So I feel like feedback is always good when you can give it. So we gave them feedback. They all did really good and they're all aiming for great things. But feedback is, I feel, essential with, cosplay masquerades, competitions, just so you know how you're doing with that if you want to continue competing in events and competitions. Also on Sunday, we had, had a panel, had video game tournaments. We had open mic karaoke, which was a lot of fun. We had an impromptu Don't Smile, Don't Dance challenge. We found the video on YouTube. I believe it was 100 anime openings. We put that on and we tried to see who could last the longest without smiling or starting to dance to the music. It was getting really hard, not even halfway through. I didn't participate in the contest. I was one of the judges, along with everybody else who was judging, or a lot of us. So that was a lot of fun. I like small events like that too because things like that happen. You have the impromptu, hey, let's pull up this YouTube challenge and see if we can do it. Or, hey, let's do some open mic karaoke. And it's a lot of fun. If you can, definitely check out the next Taki, which is going to be Taki 24. That is crazy. I remember when Taki was number one when it actually started. Um, Taki 24 is going to be in the wintertime because they do a Taki in the summer and they do a Taki in the winter. So stay tuned. If you go to, you can look up the Taki Facebook groups. You can look up the Asian Karaoke Idol Invitational. You can find the group, join it. We are friendly. We don't bite. Come join, converse, give suggestions for things you want to see at future Takis. It's great. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hoping we do big and great things with it. So, by the way, disclaimer, Taki is run by my friend, D-chan. He goes by D-chan. He's He's the guy that runs the show for Takii. I just help. I've known D-chan actually since Otakon 2004 when we competed in Otaku Idol, which was the karaoke contest, which still happens to this day at Otakon. Back in 2004, I placed second. It was a great experience. I actually met two friends through Otaku Idol. I met D-chan and I also met my friend David, who now lives in Japan, but yeah, conventions, bringing friends together since forever, essentially. So, speaking of Otakon, my next convention is Otakon. After that is going to be PsychoCon, which is in Allentown, and that is the weekend after Otakon. I'm actually going to be a cosplay guest at that event, so I'll be doing several panels and I'll also be helping out with the cosplay contest. So if you're local and you want to check out a con, or if you're not going to Otakon, definitely come check out PsychoCon. It's another newer local con in the growing stages. You need to support our local conventions so they can grow and expand, and we have more cons we can go to. The next possible convention after that is Colossal Con East. I'm not sure if I'm attending that one. It's up in the air. It's a possibility. So we'll see. That one's in the Poconos at the new Kalahari Resort. So if you haven't heard of Colossal Con, it's a water park con. It usually happens in Columbus, or sorry, not Columbus, in Sandusky, Ohio at the Kalahari. I apologize if I said the wrong name of the town, but it's at the Kalahari in Ohio. A lot of people go. It's a big party. It's Water Park Con because it's at a Kalahari. So Colossal Con East is the spin-off because it was so popular in Ohio. Let's try it in Pennsylvania. My convention after that is going to be Anime USA, which I haven't been to Anime USA since, oh my goodness, maybe 2006, 2007, so almost 10 years. That's crazy. Anime USA is in December this year, and it's in Washington, D.C. I'm noticing a trend with conventions going to Washington, D.C., because you've got KatsuCon in Washington, D.C., Otakon, it's its first year now in D.C., and Anime USA is in D.C. now, too. It's it's a small world after all. It's just like remembering back to when these conventions first started. Like they were in these little hotels in different areas, and then now they're in these big hotels or convention centers. It's it's oh my goodness. Like when I went to KatsuCon this year, I haven't been to KatsuCon since 2006. So I hadn't been to KatsuCon in 11 years, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a long time. I feel old. I'm not that old. I'm turning the big 30 this year, but oh my goodness. So, if any of you out there are listening and you're in high school, this will be you in about 15 years. You're going to just be like, "Oh my god, time flies." It does. Um so that's my convention schedule coming up. Lots of conventions going on, whether I'm staffing or I'm press or I'm a guest. So, yeah, it's really nice to be back on the convention scene. I missed it. Brings me to a fun point that a lot of my friends I met at conventions. Like Dokudel, who I mentioned before, met her at a convention. Like I also said before, D-chan, my friend David, met them at a convention. Like I've met so many people because of anime conventions. So if you're out there listening and you're on the fence about going to an anime convention and cosplaying, just do it. In the words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Just go. It's a really fun experience. You meet so many people, you get to experience so many different things, and you find out about fandoms you didn't even know existed. You find out about games you didn't hear of, anime you didn't hear of. It is such a great way to get to know people, such a great sense of community in cosplay and conventions. It's definitely yay cosplay, yay conventions. So, next I've got cosplay updates. So, I have a couple costumes I'm working on. I'm currently working on a version of Mio from Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. I actually was trying to finish it for last weekend for Takii, but I did not finish. Also, funny enough, my petticoat and my gloves that I ordered for the costume, they never showed up. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I decided not to finish it, and I'm going to finish for Otakon. By the way, Amazon Prime, kudos for refunding me. And, I didn't even have to reach out to them for a refund or anything. So, long story short, they sent my package to the wrong facility, so I didn't get the package. There, if you're familiar with Amazon, they have different warehouses and such around the country. There's one in Pennsylvania, so my order would have been coming from the Pennsylvania one. So it should have just left the Pennsylvania one and gone to the post office and traveled to me. Well, it ended up going to the sorting facility in New York. Y- yeah, it didn't need to go to New York. It was staying within the state. So what happened was I kept getting updates that, oh, your package is going to be delayed. And I'm like, okay. So I ordered it on Monday, and then by Wednesday, I was supposed to have had it. Nope, didn't have it. And then I finally get a text, I believe Friday, and they're like, "Oh, your order, your order's not coming. Here's a refund." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." I mean, boo that my package didn't come, but sweet that they refunded that right away. So kudos Amazon. That is great customer service. So I have to order that stuff again, unfortunately, because it never got here in the first place. So that costume is a work in progress. I'm also going to be doing Lena in verse from Slayers. I'm going to be doing her version from one of the movies. So it's that one with like the white tank top and the red pants and the shoulder armor. It's a little different than her regular outfit. I'm doing that one with my friend, pretty much my best friend actually, Geekstress Mur. She'll be doing Gowry from Slayers. Funny thing is, we actually did those cosplays about 10 years ago now at Otakon. So how funny we're doing them 10 years later at Otakon. Much better and more improved. I've had the wig for about a year, so I'm like, I think it's time to do it. I'll also be doing Lana from Archer because my friends and I, we always try to get our Archer cosplay in at a con because they're fun and they're comfy, and we have so much fun in them, and we have so much fun having people recognize us. I get yelled at Lana all the time, like, Lana, Lana, all the time. We had Danger Zone playing at Katsucon. We were rocking around in the outfits. It's that's what makes cosplay so fun is when you do things like that. Is just it's for fun. What happens a lot with cosplay is we get so wrapped up in competition and being the best cosplayer and having the most followers, we forget what the real point of cosplay is. We're embodying a character that we love, or we're embodying a design that we love, because lots of cosplayers have gone on to become fashion designers because of their love of fashion and costumes. But cosplay's fun. It ultimately should be fun. So get with your friends, do a fun group costume like that. Another group costume I did was at Katsucon. We dressed up as Team Skull. We were for fun. We were crashing photo shoots as a Team Skull. It was a blast. These almost 30 something to early 30 something adults in Team Skull costumes just walking around. It was fun. It's such a great time. So have fun with your cosplay. Don't forget that. But anyway, so Lana from Archer with my Archer ladies. Also, Rin from Love Live, because I have her cyber outfit. My friend Ashbury Cosplay will be doing Hanayo in her cyber outfit. Yay! I get to be cyber idol with somebody. Speaking of idols, all the idols. All Love Live, Idol Master idols all the time. So many of them and so many costume ideas. That's the sad part. There's so many. Anyway, I digress. So, those are my plans at the moment for costumes. I also question marking Anzu's little riddle outfit from Idol Master Cinderella Girls because it's just a really cute outfit and it's nice and comfy. We'll see how Mio goes. Mio, I'm looking at the Mio costume right now. It is hanging up. It's about, I want to say 60 to 70% done. All I have left to do on it is I need to add the trim to the skirt. I need to make the white pleated skirt that has to go under the main outfit. I have to get the gloves and the petticoat again. I have to get shoes, and I have to add some details to the vest, and then the cuffs I have to make for my wrists and my boots. So, and finish up the pear bow and the bow that goes on the vest. So it's almost done. Yeah. I mean, this costume's been a labor of love. I'd like to shout out my dad and Dokudel for both helping me with the costume. Dokudel was a trooper. I'm so happy she and her boyfriend moved closer, so if I need cosplay help, I can just shoot up to her and we can work on costumes and watch anime. Um, she helped me a lot with this outfit because the patterning was confusing. I'll post a picture in the video of the costume. If you look at it, you'd be like, huh? Because the skirt was the hardest. I was having a hard time with that because of how it lays. But we figured it out. And it was a team effort. And it's looking good. So, yay, cosplay progress. Other than that, I have some other cosplays planned. They're on my cosplay Facebook page, which is Wild Spice Cosplay. I post ideas forever because there's so many costumes you could do. And now that I have a boyfriend that's into anime and wants to cosplay, we're going to do some couples cosplay, so that just adds to the list as well. So, cosplay for days. So, in other news, I created a Patreon. I figured why not give it a shot. My goal with the Patreon is no, not for people to make my costumes for me or pay me to make costumes. That's not the point of my Patreon. The point of my Patreon is actually to create content regarding cosplay photography and helping people, edit their photos, critiquing people on their photos, just helping people get started with cosplay photography because there's so many people now who want to get into cosplay photography and they're not sure where to start. Like I did a panel at Anime Next, which by the way, if you were there, thank you so much for attending. It was almost a full room. I was going to cry out of happiness that the room was almost full. So thank you. That meant so much to me. But my panel was on cosplay photography 101. So I covered the basics of photography and then just photography at conventions in general. So my goal with the Patreon is be able to make content of that nature for people, give critiques to people if they want critiques. Also, there are some fun rewards. So if you're just cosplaying and you want to contribute, you get a photo shoot out of it, you can get a print, etc. You know. So Patreon link's going to be in the description if you'd like to donate. I actually have one donor so far. Thank you so much to the Traveling Paladin. You made my day. It meant so much to me that you're backing my Patreon, so thank you. He's going to be getting a photo critique that if I get his permission, I'll share it on the YouTube channel. If he doesn't give permission, that's fine. What it is I'm going to do a recorded one-on-one critique. So the person will send me 5 to 10 photos they want me to critique, cosplay related because it's cosplay photography or costuming. And I'll give them feedback on their photos, like things I think they could improve on or things they totally rocked at. Because, again, critique is awesome. Love the critique. So, again, if you're interested in donating to the Patreon, you don't have to. I understand. I know it's a touchy thing. It's in the description if you'd like to. I'm also with this podcast, I do want to feature other cosplayers from time to time, like spotlight them because cosplay is community and community is love. It's community over competition. I'm huge on community over competition. So, if you want to be on the show, definitely shoot me an email. My email is in the description. I will get back to you. I will let you know, yeah, let's do this or see what we can come up with. Like, I would love to have people on this podcast with me, just talking about cosplay, talking about conventions, whatever you like. This is supposed to be fun, so let's have some fun. Email me, ask to be on. We'll make it happen. um, Also, if you're a cosplay photographer, definitely contact me. Love to also have you on here. If you're work a convention or just want to like plug your event, talk to me. I would love to help. Us cosplayers got to stick together. Geeks unite. So, again, I talk really fast, so I'm really sorry. I have to work on slowing down a little bit. So I hope I didn't talk like 5 billion miles a minute and you're just like holding onto your seat like, whoa, what just happened? um, so again, that's all I have for this episode regarding like con updates, all that stuff. Um, Future format, I'm gonna try to do one of these once every 2 weeks or so. We'll see. I might up the frequency. I might do it once a month. I'm not sure. I'll do more frequency when I have conventions I'm going to. Also with those conventions, I want to try to do more Facebook Lives or vlogs. For the podcast, it's going to mostly be speaking, not vlog. Don't want to do any vlog. So that's all I've got for this episode. So if you'd like to tune in again, definitely subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below. So thank you so much for listening to this edition of Wild Wednesday, and I will see you next time.